Okay, so in all of that introduction and background, I really kind of put some urgency around the fact that IPv4 addresses are depleting quickly, and maybe we need to be concentrating on IPv6. But is that really true for businesses as much as it is for service providers? And Shannon, maybe I'll start with you. Do you see urgency for businesses for getting IPv6 started?
I absolutely do. I think the important factor that any business has to deal with is business continuity, and that is regardless of the changing area, whether it be politically or technologically, they've got to continue doing business, whatever that industry may pertain to. And with an exhausting IPv4 address pool on the internet and an explosion in mobile devices and other methodologies of connecting to that business, it's imperative that they have the ability to continue doing business regardless of which version of IP either a client would use or they themselves or even a service provider in between. So I think it's as important as any service provider.
Great. Ed, what's your opinion?
I've been telling my customers, principally around V6, that the first depletion date is the only date that actually counts. The rest of them, when the rest of them happen, they happen, it doesn't really matter. The first one who starts on that depletion date, which has already occurred, is the one that drives everyone else's behavior. Because as soon as that area of the world has no more V4 and has to be on V6, if anyone else wants to talk to them, they have to be on V6. It's that simple. So I don't think there's a lot of complexity. So I argue that the depletion event is a last year's event. You're already 1 year behind the curve if you haven't been talking actively about getting V6 deployed in the enterprise.
Do you see any other motivations besides just IPv4 address depletion for deploying IPv6?
So we have customers that are heavily on the innovation side in Silicon Valley. There are definitely use cases where V6 makes a lot of sense in terms of forward innovation. They're developing products, technologies that are going to be used around the world, that are going to be used by different enterprises, but also service providers, commercial space, social media. There are a lot of things around V6 that are very strategic for them to be able to test their products, to be able to develop their products. They need V6 operating in their environment. They need to understand the impact it's going to have. They need to understand how their products are going to interact with each other, how they're going to support existing legacy V4. I guess we should refer to it as legacy now. V4 is legacy, V6 is the way things are supposed to run. And so it definitely is something that you're seeing more and more enterprises adopting because they have to support their engineering teams. They have to support their development teams. They have to be able to support their QA group. And then they actually have to test it and roll it out for their customers. So I think beyond just pure enterprise play, there are a lot of additional things that are going on in the market space that say V6 is something you have to pay attention to. You have to have a roadmap and plan for.
Yeah, I think that if you even take a look at what we've got with BYOD, bring your own device, like a lot of things that start off in the consumer market space end up over time bleeding into the enterprise space, right? I mean, no one would have imagined that I could access all of the corporate resources on my mobile device, whether that be a tablet or a phone or whatever it may be. And a lot of things that start off as a good idea, kind of gadgetry that we have in the consumer space end up actually coming together. Social media is absolutely true of one of those that bleeds into the enterprise. So the things that we take advantage of from an IPv6, mobility, pure location awareness without dealing with address translation, those types of things that are already occurring in the consumer space are finding those as necessities and even customer value add inside of the business space. So I find that as Ed pointed out, things that are even outside of the enterprise will find use cases there that are directly applicable to the enterprise, and they happen to be dependent upon IPv6.